Hello everyone, in today's video I am going to answer the question why Kangana Ranaut's Twitter account was suspended. Then the answer is very simple. It was due to repeated violations of Twitter's policy. To be more specific, it was related to hate speech and abusive behavior. Now, what triggered this action? It was triggered by the latest tweet by Kangana Ranaut, or I may say last tweet by Kangana Ranaut on the Bengal election violence. In her tweet, she said, quote, "This is horrible. We need Super Gundai to kill Gundai. She is like an unleashed monster. To tame her, Modi ji, please show your Virat Roop from early 2000s. Hashtag President's Rule in Bengal." End quote. In this tweet, Kangana Ranaut was urging Prime Minister Narendra Modi to intervene in Bengal situation, where we are seeing a post-election violence in which more than 12 people have been killed and many properties have been damaged. Now, this was a very legitimate cause where Kangana Ranaut was, in her own right, was urging her prime minister, our prime minister, to stop the violence in Bengal. But the wording that was used, the question is on the wording. Was it legitimate? In my personal opinion, the words used in her tweet were not up to the standards. Now, I know Twitter has its standards, but when you are influential as Kangana Ranaut, who has millions of followers, and when tweeting on a certain issue which is very sensitive right now, where people have been killed and the emotions are on the highest level on both sides, asking Prime Minister to have a Virat Roop of 2000s is something very irresponsible on her part, and using the words such as kill is not up to the standards. In any way, if she would have used the word defeat instead of kill, the action would have not happened on her. I think it is the word kill that has triggered this action from the Twitter. Now, even if you ask Narendra Modi ji what he feels on this tweet, he would not accept this kind of language because it is detrimental to his image, because she has called out Prime Minister Modi to show his Virat Roop of early 2000s. Now, what does it mean? What is she referring to? She has to answer to that. After this tweet, many people reported her account, and Twitter took the cognizance of this and suspended Kangana Ranaut's account permanently. After this, two designers came in front and tweeted that they are severing all the ties with Kangana Ranaut and they no longer will associate with her. The names of these designers were Anand Bhushan and Rimzim Dadu. Now, the interesting development in this story is that the sister of Kangana Ranaut, Rangoli Chandel, came on the Instagram and said they are not associated with these two designers who have decided to dissociate with Kangana Ranaut, and she threatened to sue them in the courts because they are using this situation for their own benefits and they might have used her photos illegally. So she has threatened to sue them in the courts, and she had said, "See you in the courts." After Twitter suspended the account of Kangana Ranaut, many people were delighted on the Twitter and they were celebrating. Maybe they felt calm when Kangana Ranaut was no longer on the Twitter and the hashtag Kangana Ranaut was trending on the Twitter and people were posting memes. Actually, they were very funny memes. Now, after the suspension of Twitter account, Kangana Ranaut put out a statement. Basically, in her statement, she said that Twitter was a racist organization of white people who want to enslave brown people and control what they think and what they speak. In my personal opinion, Kangana using a race card in this situation is not legitimate, and this is not the first time that Twitter has acted against Kangana Ranaut. In the past two incidents, first the Kangana Ranaut's one of the tweet was deleted and her account was suspended for a brief period. First time it was during the Tandav, the web series released. It was alleged that Hindu deities were disrespected in this web series, and that time she tweeted something like that. This is a time to take their heads off. Now, it is a provocative tweet, and after that Twitter suspended her account for a brief period, And during the farmers' protest, she tweeted something like that the farmers were not real farmers and most of them were terrorists. After that, Twitter deleted that tweet. So there has been a record of violation of policy, and Twitter has not acted immediately or so from out of the blue when she tweeted on the Bengal election, post-election violence. So it was third time that Twitter took the action, and finally it decided to permanently shut down Kangana's account. Now the second question is it fair that Twitter has the right to suspend someone's account and clamp on the freedom of speech of an individual? And the answer is simple. Twitter is a private business. It can deny you the service if they want. They can suspend your account. Now the case could be made that is it a clamp on freedom of speech or not? That is a different issue. But Twitter at this point is a private business and it can decide on whether or not to provide you the service. Multiple chances were given to Kangana Ranaut by Twitter. I don't deny that the point raised by her that all the tweets she has tweeted were not legitimate, but the words used were not. And even Modi ji would not agree with her. Modi ji even would say, "Don't drag me into this." When she said, "Show the Virat Roop of early 2000s," Modi ji would say that, "Don't drag me into this, you fight it yourself." Now the main question is, does Twitter act impartially when it comes to defending its policies? The answer is no. Take the example of LeBron James' tweet. Recently, LeBron James tweeted out a photo of a police officer, and from his tweet, it was clear that he was saying that the next person to be killed will be this police officer. And it is very dangerous tweet where he was inciting violence against a police officer, and in a situation where police officers are killed regularly in United States. This was a very irresponsible tweet from LeBron James, but I don't think any action was taken against him. Neither his tweet was deleted by Twitter. Yes, it was deleted by himself, but it was not deleted by Twitter. Neither his account was suspended. So whenever the people who align with the agenda and the ideology of Twitter, they do not take action. And whenever the agenda and ideology is against the Twitter's ideology, the action is taken. Whether finally it is a private business and it has the right to, but it does decrease the legitimacy of Twitter when it comes to these types of action. When it comes to free speech, we need to differentiate between free speech and hate speech. And whenever something is identified as hate speech, we need to look deeper into that, and we need to see whether it is the truth spoken is identified as hate speech, or it is the inciting of violence that is a hate speech. Because many times when a person speaks truth, it is said that it is a hate speech, but actually it is the truth. And sometimes it is inciting violence is clubbed with the truth. So we need to be judicious about whatever we speak and whatever we tweet. And this is a lesson for everyone. That's it for today. It is always great to learn something new. So keep learning. Bye bye.